I've been seeing a lot of discussions off of r/D&D, the online forums, and my own player group that to be a first-time DM, it's kind of daunting. Have a group, probably some of your good friends, all gathered together to play something of your creation and your machination. What if they don't like it? What if your DMing ability sucks? If all your friends come to see you as the fraud that you are, and now instead of having a good time with your buddies, you're just a lonely individual and you lost all your friends? Well, none of these things are going to happen if you suck too much, but if you are concerned about any of these things, and that thought process kind of ran your head, then this video is for you. But don't be very melodramatic about it though, because it's not the end of the world, and you'll come to enjoy it for what it is. Number one is to build, don't plan. The biggest problems that beginning DMs have, and this includes my younger self, is that they plan too much. Building a great character, he's multifaceted, he has a badass entrance, he's gonna reshape how your players view this world, and it's gonna be incredibly awesome. For all intents and purposes, he's the most important character you've ever made. The problem that you see is that this character is being completely ignored by the party, who are busy figuring out what the deal is with generic guard number 3 that you just had cough on accident because you kind of got something stuck in your throat. The solution is to stop seeing this as a problem. You cannot map out your campaign months in advance. You cannot say that they're gonna go on this arc, this beautiful arc that matches your glorious animes that you fucking watch, and it'll have a thoughtful conclusion that will pull at all the right strings, and it'll be beautiful. Because if you're going to do that, you might as well just sit down, say, I don't want to DM, I actually just want to go write a book right now. Do that, you're just forcing your players down a preset path because you feel like this will make them enjoy the campaign I made the most, put the most thought into this. This has the most tried and true tested ability to make my players laugh. But just because it's thought out doesn't make it enjoyable. When I ask my players, and when they tell me, that some of the most important things about D&D is the player agency, the ability to see how the world reacts to you. If you pre-build your things, then it can't react to them because you're just going to be trying to force them down a preset path. If they do this, if they do that, it doesn't matter because they're going to ultimately come to this. It didn't happen. Sometimes if they do that, or it should go that direction. It shouldn't go this direction. That player agency is what makes D&D not your co-op action RPG and what makes it so enjoyable and so unique. So make sure to support that. Some of the easiest way to support that is by continuing to build those cool characters that you love to do, those cool set pieces, those towns, those ideas, but be willing and able to put them to the wayside. Maybe they will never see the light of day because your players are too busy doing something else. I once built this whole world and campaign with these mystical towers and an evil wizard that was gonna corrupt the party. And instead of going that direction, my party started an underground slave camp and enslaved all the villagers of nearby towns and made them work for them. I would have never thought, well, when I built that campaign, that that's the direction it was going to go. But when I think back on it now, it's clear to me that's the only way it could have gone. It's obvious. Just be willing to adapt to change. That's what you expect from your players, and that's what your players should expect from you, and you should both deliver on that promise. Number 2 is that you gotta listen to your players, because of course, we don't always have the time to build huge sandbox worlds, to plop our players in and see how they mess with it. You still want to build. Simply adapting on the fly is how you get a glorified one-shot that you get together to play every week. The easiest way to remedy this is by actively listening to your players and see what they like. Put some variety or challenges at them and see what sticks out to them. Maybe they love the idea of turning into bounty hunters, or of helping to run a shop, or messing with the politics of the city, or going out and being just generic heroes, hunting down the biggest and the baddest evil. Oftentimes, your players will not know what they want, and they won't actively go out and say, hey, I want to go do this, can you build that for me? But their actions and their emotions will line up to what they want to do, if you pay attention to it. Once you do, you can start building specifically towards that direction. Now that generic shop you put in for them to buy rations that have a rich history against the city government, or the bounty hunter and the bounty boards is now a full-on worldwide guild that they can climb the ranks of and discover what exactly makes it tick. Very few things don't make for a campaign arc, so feel free to branch out and reactively build to what your players want to do. Remember that player agency is the most critical component of D&D to make it enjoyable, lasting, fun, and memorable. You gotta ask for and accept critique. One thing I do at the end of every single one of my sessions, no matter what, is individually ask my players for critiques and compliments. It's helped me become a better DM over the years at every single session because I can personally see what my players liked and didn't like. We built a cool character that I thought stole the show, but my players viewed it as choppy, handholdy, and boring. Or maybe I thought I totally botched that combat encounter and it turned out to be the best thing about the session. Actively listening to what they tell you and what they don't tell you And if you take that into account, that can skyrocket your ability to interactively build what your players would like to play. However, you have to be willing to take the criticisms with an open ear, or you won't go anywhere, and your players will just generically respond with, "It was good." Ask them for more individualized feedback. If there's anything I learned, players love to have their opinions be heard. If you have one that doesn't really ever have much to say, don't push them to give you feedback, or the biggest criticism will soon become how you're pissing them off with asking for it. Ask the ones who are willing to talk without ignoring the ones who don't have much to say, and you'll have a cohesive party that's all building towards something that they like to do. You also get more honest and in-depth answers when you ask everyone individually compared to asking them all in a group. That's just the human psyche. Something that's really important to actually enjoy this game that we're playing is to have fun. That's something that you want to build up for your players and make sure that they can do. But if you're not having at least some fun, then they're going to quickly not have any fun. It's your job as a game master to kind of be the engine for the party, not the driver. They get behind the wheel of the thing that you create, and then they push it towards a direction, and the engine's the one that does the work to make it interesting. But you gotta enjoy being the engine, using whatever mechanisms that you like to do or have, so that way you can have fun. Throw in some experiences that you'll know that you have a blast with. Build a fun NPC that you love playing as, a cool set piece that's great to run. Really anything that you like to do, because if you're having fun, it's easier for them to have fun too. Also, be sure to be physically and mentally capable, ready, and willing to do these sessions. I used to run a campaign back in my senior year that was right after school and directly interfered with my timelines, both for my outside social life of the game and for my working patterns and for my sleeping patterns. And I quickly just became this absolutely miserable DM and fell off my ability to really run it as well as I could, simply because I didn't like doing it. I considered it a job, not to have fun. And that's one of my worst sessions individually I feel like I played, even though it's not necessarily for my players, simply because I can't look back on it and be happy. So sometimes you just gotta get away from that whole thinking. If you really need it, just take a break, catch your wins, and ask your players if they want to go on an interlude maybe, and one of them run a campaign or one shot. You not only get ideas on what players like to do when you're behind their mask, but you also get to play on the fun side of D&D, invigorate you to swing back into DMing, fight back at full force. That's what happened to me, and I quickly realized I loved to play as a DM way compared to a player, and ever since then I haven't really complained as much. The last piece of advice I got is kind of directly contrary to everything else, but it's also probably the most important, which is you're the DM, not anyone else. Do what works for you and your party. Don't just blindly accept advice. Do your players like over I wrote a campaign with clear highs and lows that are well planned? If so, that's great, and everyone will have a good time if you build that. Maybe Matthew Mercer or the other online DMs do something specific that works great for their party, but when you try it out, it falls flat. At the end of the day, you know your party and your table the best out of anyone because you're the one running it. So do what works well for you. If you do that and you succeed, then you'll quickly build an experience that your players look forward to every single session, and they'll still be talking about years later.